Okay, let us solve next set of questions. If p times the pth term of an AP is equal to q times the qth term of an AP, then p plus qth term is. So that means p times the pth term, that means a plus p minus 1 into d, is equal to q times the qth, that is a plus q minus 1 into d, where a and d are first term and common difference. Then we need to find p plus qth term, that is a plus p plus q minus 1 into d is what we need to find out using this equality, right? So let us solve this equality. If I take a common, then this term will become p minus q here, right? And p into p minus 1 into d, q into q minus 1 into d. So if I take d common, from the left hand side I'll have p into p minus 1, that is p square minus p, and from the right hand side I'll have q square minus q. So it will be minus q square plus q, and it will be equal to 0, right? So from here I can say a into p minus q plus d into p square minus q square and p square minus q square minus, so if I take minus outside, this will become plus, this will become minus, so p minus q here, right? This again will have a p minus q into p plus q, so I can take p minus q outside from everything. Okay, if I take p minus q outside, I'll have a here and then plus d. If I take p minus q out from it, it will have p plus q here, p plus q, and here I'll have 1, and this is equal to 0. Now you see, either this has to be 0 or this has to be 0. It should be mentioned in the question that p is not equal to q, right? P is not equal to q. It should be mentioned in this question. Now if p is not equal to q, then this term cannot be 0. So this term has to be 0. And what is this term? This term is nothing but p plus qth term, right? So p plus qth term of this AP is 0, right? This will be given in the question for this question to make sense. All right, let us move to the next one. The sums of n terms of two arithmetic series are in this ratio, then the ratio of their 13th terms is. This is a very good question. Ratio of sums of two different arithmetic progressions, let us say Sn and Sn dash, is equal to 2n plus 3 divided by 6n plus 5. And what we need to find out is ratio of their 13th terms. Let us say this AP, of which Sn is the sum, has got first term as a and common difference as d, and this AP here has got first term as, let us take a1 and common difference as d1. So what we need to find out is ratio of their 13th terms, that is a plus 12d divided by a1 plus 12d1. This is what we need to find out, and this is what is given. So ratio of their n, sum of their n terms is given, so it will be equal to n by 2 twice of a plus n minus 1 into d divided by n by 2 twice of a1 plus n minus 1 into d1. Now this n by 2 can be cancelled. This manipulation you need to keep in mind, right? What I'm going to do right now, this step you need to keep in mind to be able to solve this question very easily. If I take 2 common from 2 outside from this bracket, what will I have inside? A plus n minus 1 divided by 2 into d, right? Similarly, from denominator, if I take 2 outside, I'll have a1 plus n minus 1 by 2 into d1, right? And it is equal to 2n plus 3 divided by 6n plus 5. This 2 again can be cancelled. What I need is a plus 12d and A1 plus 12 D1. So I need 12 here, right? I need 12 in place of n minus 1 by 2. I need 12. So what do I need in place of n? Obviously, I'll need n equal to 25. So if I put n equal to 25 in this expression, I'll have 12 here, right? Which is what I require. Alright, so I need to replace this n with 25. Now if I replace n with 25 on this side, then I'll have to replace n with 25 everywhere. So if I replace n with 25, this will become the desired thing, right? A plus 12d divided by a1 plus 12d1, and this will become my answer. Now n has to be replaced with 25. Okay, so 25 into 2 is 50, 50 plus 3 is 53 divided by n is 25. 25 into 6 is 150, 150 plus 5 is 155. So the answer option is option A. I hope I've been able to explain it correctly. If TR be the rth term, if TR be the rth term of an AP for r equal to 1, 2, 3, if for some positive integers m and n, we have Tm, that is mth term is 1 by n, nth term is 1 by n, then we need to find mnth term. So mth term, that means a plus m minus 1 into d is 1 by n. Nth term, that means a plus n minus 1 into d is 1 by m, and we need to find Tmn, that is a plus mn minus 1 into d. So you need to write this somewhere, that you should keep your target in your mind. We ultimately need to find this a plus mn minus 1 into d, right? This should be in your mind. So what exactly do we need to find? We need to find a and d, then we will plug in those values and find our answer. Now to find, let us say d, I'll subtract, right? If I do the subtraction here, a will get cancelled and this minus this will give me m minus n into d here, and on the right hand side I'll have 1 by n minus 1 by m, right, which is nothing but m minus n divided by mn. So on the right hand side I have m minus n divided by mn. Okay, so this m minus n and m minus n can be cancelled because m and n are not equal, hence d is equal to 1 by mn. And if I put d equal to 1 by mn in any of these equations, I can find value of a. So let's find it by putting it here. A plus m minus 1 into 1 by mn is equal to 1 by n, right? So let's open the bracket. A plus 1 by n, if I multiply this with this, m will get cancelled, right? 1 by n minus 1 by mn is equal to 1 by n. So this again will get cancelled. A is equal to 1 by mn. So a is 1 by mn, d is 1 by mn. I need to find Tmn. So Tmn will be equal to 1 by mn plus mn minus 1 into 1 by mn. So it is 1 by mn plus this multiplied by this is 1 minus 1 by mn. So it gets cancelled here. So T of mn is equal to 1. That is option C, right? So the correct answer is option C here. Let's look at the next one. The interior angles of a polygon are in AP, right? If the smallest angle be 120 degrees and the common difference be 5, that means there is a polygon where smallest angle is 120 degree and the next angle will be 125 degrees, next will be 130 degrees, and so on. We need to find its number of sides. See, interesting thing about polygons is, let us say you take any polygon, okay? So these are interior angles, right? But when I talk about exterior angles, let us say this is an angle theta. What will be this angle? This will be 180 minus theta, right? So this is an exterior angle here. So this will be another exterior angle. This will be next. This will be next, next, next. So if I go from this and go to this line, then 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 this line, I am covering entire 360-degree circle, right, to come back to the same line. So that means sum of exterior angles of any polygon, any sided polygon, is going to be equal to 360 degrees by this logic, right? Now it is given that the smallest angle, that is interior angle, is 120 degrees. So let us say this is the smallest angle. If it is 120 degrees, this angle here will be 180 minus theta, that is 60 degrees. And if this is smallest, right, so this will be the largest exterior angle, 60 degrees, because if I increase it here 125, then this will become 55 here. So this is the largest exterior angle. So largest exterior angle here I have got is 60 degrees. And what is the common difference? If I am talking in terms of exterior angles, one angle is 60 degrees, another angle is 55, right? Next angle will be 50 degrees, because in case of interior angles, I have to increase each angle by 5 degrees starting with 120. And in case of exterior angles, I have to decrease each angle by 5 degrees. So if I talk in terms of exterior angles, the first term is 60 degrees, common difference is minus 5 degrees, and the sum of these angles, sum of all the angles, if let us say there are n angles, sum of these angles is going to be 360 degrees, because I know that sum of exterior angles of a polygon is equal to 360 degrees. Now after this much information, you just need to find n, that is number of sides, right? What is Sn? It is 360, and it is equal to n by 2, twice of first term, that is 2 into 60, plus n minus 1 into d, that is negative 5, that is negative 5 in this case. So it will be equal to n by 2 into 120 minus 5n plus 5, right? So if I calculate it further, this was 360, right? So on the left hand side, if I multiply it with 2, it will become 720, and here this n I am going to take inside, so it will become 120 plus 5 is 125, so 125n minus 5n squared. So this will become a quadratic expression, 5n square minus 125n plus 720. 5 obviously can be taken common, so n square minus 25n plus 145, it is equal to 0. So this is the quadratic that you have got. Now we just need to solve this quadratic to obtain value of n, right? Let us try and factorize it first. This, if divided by 5, will give me 1 4 4 here, 1 4 4. Now this 25 can be written like this: n square minus 16n minus 9n plus 144 equals 0. So n, if I take outside, it will become n minus 16 minus 9 common, n minus 16 equal to 0. So n will either be 9 or be 16. Right, now we need to validate our answer. Whether it is 9 or 16, we need to validate it. How do we do that? See, if let us say n is 9, if n is 9, what will be nth term? What will be nth term? In this case, nth term, that is 9th term, will be equal to a plus n minus 1, that is 8, into d, that is minus 5. So 8 5s are 40, so it will be 20 degrees. But if you take n equal to 16, so what will be 16th term here? It will be a plus 16 minus 1, that is 15, into d, that is minus 5. So 15 5s are 75, so it will give you a negative angle. It will give you a negative angle, which is not possible. So n equal to 16 can be ruled out. Hence, your answer to this question will be 9. Okay. This question we have already solved, so I'll give you the direct answer. Right? This question we have solved in our theory lectures, and the answer was n minus 1 divided by square root of a1 plus square root of an. Okay. If sum of n terms of an AP is given 2n square plus 5n, then nth term will be. This is pretty simple because coefficient of n square is half of common difference. So common difference is equal to 4. What is the first term of the AP? If I put, this is, let us say Sn, right? First term of an AP is S1. S1 is equal to A1, right? So I put n equal to 1 to get the first term. So first term is 7 and common difference is 4. What do I need to find out? Nth term. What will be nth term? Nth term will be 4, that is common difference, into n, right? Plus, what do I add for the first term to be 7? Because if I put n equal to 1, it will give me 4. So I'll have to add 3. 4 plus 3 is 7. So 4n plus 3 is my answer. Right? Next. If 7th term of an AP is 40, sum of first 13 terms. So a plus 6d is given as 40 and I need to find sum of first 13 terms, that is 13 by 2 twice of a plus 13 minus 1 into d, that is 12d, right? So what I need to find out is 13 by 2. If I take 2 common, then it will be a plus 6d inside. So I just need to find 13 into a plus 6d, which is already given as 40, right? 13 into 4 is 52. So 13 into 40 is 520. So 520 is the correct answer, right? Let's look at this one. These are in AP, right? Then we need to find this sum here. Okay. If these terms are in AP, then we can say A2 minus A1 is equal to A3 minus A2 is equal to AN plus 1 minus AN, right? This is what we know. And it is equal to some common difference. Let us take it as D. Why I am doing that is because this expression can be solved by bringing it into a difference form. How do I do that? Let us focus on this first term only. 1 by A1 A2. If I write it like this, 1 by A1 minus 1 by A2, what will happen is I will require something outside to balance it, because inside the bracket, if you see, it will be A2 minus A1 divided by A1 A2. On the left hand side, I just have 1 by A1 A2. So in the numerator, I have A2 minus A1, which is nothing but the common difference. So if I write 1 by D here, where D is the common difference, then the left hand expression and right hand expression both are same. Similarly, for this one, I'll have A3 minus A2 in the numerator, then divided by A2 A3, right? Then I'll have to multiply it with 1 by D to balance it, to make it this second term. So I can write this expression as 1 by D, and you see all these numerators are difference of these consecutive terms. So all these numerators are D. You understand? So what I mean to say here is, I'll just show you. If I multiply it with 1 by D, I can write this first term as 1 by A1 minus 1 by A2. I can write this second term as 1 by A2 minus 1 by A3. and so on, I can write this last term as 1 by an minus 1 by an plus 1. Right? Now you see these terms will get cancelled. Up to 1 by an, all these terms will get cancelled, and you will have 1 by d, and inside you will have this term and this term, which can be written as an plus 1 minus a1 divided by a1 an plus 1. Right? And it is equal to 1 by d into, this is an plus 1, that is a plus nd. Right? What is a? I'll have to take a1 here, because an plus 1 is the nth, an plus 1 is the n plus 1th term of this AP, of which first term is a1. So I have to write first term here, and plus n plus 1 minus 1, that is n into d. Right? Minus a1 divided by a1 into an plus 1 here. So this will get cancelled, and this d will also get cancelled. Right? So it will be n divided by a1 into an plus 1, which is option D. Right? Let's look at the next one. Sum of first n terms of a series is 5n square plus 2n, then its second term. When I see this sum, I know that common difference is double of this coefficient of n square, that is 10. First term I know is, I'll get by putting n equal to 1, which is 7. Right? So the common difference is 10, first term is 7, the second term will be 17. Okay? This is how how simple these questions are, if you know the basics, obviously. Now this is the last question of this worksheet. This expression is the am of a plus b. That means a raised to power n plus 1 plus b raised to power n plus 1 divided by an plus bn is equal to a plus b by 2. Now I need to find n. Some of the students will say, sir, if I put n equal to 0, I'll have a plus b, a raised to power 0 is 1, b raised to power 0 is 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2, so the answer is 0. So yes, if you have got this question as an objective question, you can do this. Otherwise, there is a solution to this question. You just need to cross multiply. If you cross multiply it, you'll get 2 a raised to power n plus 1 plus 2 b raised to power n plus 1 is equal to, this a into a raised to power n will become a raised to power n plus 1 plus a b raised to power n, a into b raised to power n plus a raised to power n into b plus b raised to power n plus 1. Now let me bring everything to the left hand side. So this is a raised to power n plus 1, this is twice of a raised to power n plus 1, so it will be a raised to power n plus 1. This is twice of b raised to power n plus 1, this is b raised to power n plus 1, so this will be b raised to power n plus 1 minus a b raised to power n minus a raised to power n into b is equal to 0. So from this and this, I can take a raised to power n common, and I'll have a from it and b from there, so a minus b. And from these two, I can take b raised to power n as common, so I'll have a minus b inside, and it is equal to 0. So this will give me a minus b, a minus b. If I take b raised to power n as common, this will give me b minus a here, right? Because it will give me b, it will give me, this will give me a. Yes, b minus a here. So if I take a minus b outside, inside I'll have a raised to power n, and to adjust this, I'll have to make it negative. So a raised to power n minus b raised to power n. If you don't understand it, what you do is, in the next step, you make it a minus b and put a negative sign here. And for it to be equal to 0, either this is 0 or this is 0. Now it should be given that a and b are not equal. So obviously this is equal to 0. For it to be equal to 0, a raised to power n should be equal to b raised to power n. That means a by b raised to power n should be equal to 1, and it is already given that a is not equal to b. So n should be 0 for it to become 1. So option C is the correct.